Welcome, everyone, to another episode of Just Saying Football with Jack and Sean. I'm your host, Sean Gannon, alongside my partner, Jack McNicholas. We're here to bring you news, notes, weekly updates, and game analysis of your favorite teams from around the league. If you not have the chance, go check out our website, justsayingfootball.com. Follow us on Instagram at justsayingnogwjs. And don't forget to check us out on Spotify with Just Saying Football. It is officially week one. Football season is upon us. It's 2023-2024 season. I mean, we got fantasy drafts going on. It's been great. You can feel in the air. How are you feeling about the season? Man,
I'm feeling good. I mean, the summer is always the best time of year, but then comes football season. So right now we're kicking off. I mean, they got a great slate week one. You know, it feels so good right now. Everybody is just getting ready and revved up for, you know, this kind of break between this preseason. You know, we wanted a shorter preseason.
Oh, yeah.
We got this break, but now we have no football, and now it's time. It's 2023.
It's 2023. You can feel football in the air. I think everyone at this point in the season with their teams are like, we're going to win the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
I see all these training camp videos. I'm like, Jordan Addison making catches like that. Oh, my God, Vikings for sure. Vikings by 20 in every game. Yeah. And then week one's going to happen. You're going to be like, no, we're going 0-17 like the Cardinals.
It's a real reality check for 16 teams. I mean, it's like, but we don't know. We're in this beautiful gray area.
I love it.
I'm like, we all think we're going to win the Super Bowl.
I know. It's really great. Let's just jump right into this Thursday night football game. We have the up-and-coming Detroit Lions making their way to Kansas City to take on the Chiefs. The Chiefs in this one are favored by -6.5, and there's an over-under here of 54. This is a kickoff game. This is not a bad one considering how the Lions ended the 2022 season.
Yeah, they were close, but no cigar with the playoffs last year. And now I'm like, you know, we got the team that was the best team in the league last year. You have Kansas City Chiefs at home in the kickoff game as the reigning Super Bowl champions. So you just have to think to yourself, you know, this is going to be a real dogfight despite the fact of a high score. What are you thinking about this game? What do you think about Pat Mahomes? What do you think about him, you know, kind of defending his home turf, you know, coming off MVP as well?
Look, I think as every season he's an MVP candidate.
Yeah.
You know, we know that for sure. The things that I'm looking most out for this week one is the Chiefs were second in the NFL last year with 55 sacks.
Yeah.
Now, currently, Chris Jones and the Kansas City front office have not come to terms on a long-term contract. Rumors are he might sit out until week 8. He said, I don't know if that's true. Kansas City fans, don't worry too much about that. But what are your thoughts about this? If he's out for an extended period of time, even 4 weeks, going up against an up-and-coming team like the Lions that have played really well last year, there's a lot of expectations of them to win the North. How do you think that defense is going to fare against this offense?
Yeah, I mean, you got Jared Goff and the Lions coming off a year where they obviously, you know, sprung off and just went in, you know, scored 30 points almost weekly. And, you know, KC has made kind of a habit of that. But with Chris Jones not there, it's more likely that can become the case this week. You know, it's really interesting, like you said, Chris Jones just not getting it done with the front office. He kind of has this leverage. He's a 2-time Super Bowl champion, probably top 3 at the position and at the tackle position. So it's like, you know, we were making the joke off camera too. Somebody was like, you can't sit out till week 8, you know, and he's like, I can afford it. I mean, he is one of those guys in the league that he's probably a future Hall of Famer. So you know, when you're missing that in your defense, you had a lot of young guys in that front seven on Kansas City, but Jared Goff is still a veteran quarterback, and he loves to sling it. So what do you think about what are you thinking?
I'm going with Kansas City in this game just because I think they're going to win at home. I think it's hard to play in Arrowhead. And while there's a lot of hype around the Lions, you're still playing this defending Super Bowl champions, obviously the best team in the league. And it's hard to win in Arrowhead. I do think that this will be over 54. I'll happily hit that. And I think that the Chiefs are only going to win by about like 4 or 5 points. So I'll take the under on the 6.5 on the spread. But the things I really want to look forward to in this game, Jahmyr Gibbs, the first-round rookie running back for Detroit. Mm-hmm. If Chris Jones is out, I expect a big day from him and David Montgomery. I'll say this. If there's a bet out there for Jahmyr Gibbs to score his first touchdown of the year, I punched it in this game.
Yeah, first week.
I like it. Week 1 touchdown to Jahmyr Gibbs in Arrowhead. And I think Amon-Ra St. Brown and Jared Goff pick up right where they left off. That was a really electric duo last year.
Yeah, and everybody, especially the last, you know, we went into last season saying that Amon-Ra had a hot end to the season before. And last season, he just continued it through the entire time. And Kansas City's secondary may actually, like you're saying, keep it close for them because there's not really anybody that's going to be one-on-one with him that's really going to be able to stop him. He is a very big frame guy. However, now I was going to say there is, usually the advantage of Travis Kelce for the, for the Chiefs. However, I have to say I'm very interested in seeing how Jack Campbell actually lines up with him as a linebacker. Fast dude, rookie guy that like reached up after. You're talking about Gibbs. That just made me think about how, they're going to have to – Kansas City's going to have to find ways to get around this Lions defense. And Dan Campbell is, the definition of like the punch you in the mouth coach.
No, I mean, absolutely. I think one of the things that we're also missing in this matchup, I haven't mentioned, the Dan Campbell versus Andy Reid matchup is going to be a lot of fun, really intense. And like you said, I mean, Aiden Hutchinson, Jack Campbell, they signed Trent Johnson in the offseason. They also got Brian Branch.
Yeah.
They traded away Jeff Okuda. They revamped this secondary and this defense. And the reason why is because of teams like Kansas City, teams like Philadelphia, and the Vikings that have these really intense passing offenses. You got to put a stop to that. And there's no real wide receiver one necessarily right now in Kansas City. Last year it was maybe Juju Smith-Schuster. Obviously, look, the real wide receiver one's Travis Kelce.
Yeah.
But we're talking about the actual wide receiver position.
Exactly, yeah.
Kadarius Toney might step into that role this year. I do expect everyone to see the ball week one.
Yeah.
I think you're going to see a lot. I think like it's going to be share the wealth kind of day. Tony's going to be getting the ball. McKinnon, maybe even Clyde Edwards-Helaire, definitely Pacheco. All those guys are really going to be seeing the ball. But I'm still leaning Kansas City right now. I think that the Lions are going to keep this game close, and I think that we're going to see that they're right there in terms of contention for the playoffs.
And you mentioned, we were off camera. I just want to mention, you were saying, as well, we were in agreement that, if this was week 2 or 3, maybe it was in Detroit, these factors are huge when you're playing these high-level teams, and they're not, it's week 1 coming off. So I got to say, I know that you have, the Lions winning the division this year.
I do.
So it is, it's definitely a statement game for them, but I do think that they keep it close. Like you said, they do not have somebody in Kansas City that anybody feels confident where you're like, oh, at least maybe they have Juju. They don't have him. They have Tony, but Tony just coming off surgery. You have Sky Moore. But you were mentioning there's just so many weapons that they do have and the creative ways that they're able to use them. I would take Kansas City as well. I will take them, though, on the spread. I will take them winning. I think if they start hot, that, we've seen them just have drives where they kind of dissect these defenses. And I love the Lions defense, but they are still really young. So I think a lot of that plays a factor for me, the home team. But I love Isaiah Pacheco and Jahmyr Gibbs in this matchup for sure. Like you said, Amon-Ra. There are a lot of fantasy relevant guys. So everyone's going to be starting the fantasy season off, with some high scoring players, which is going to be awesome.
I got Patrick Mahomes in our Dynasty Keeper League.
Yeah.
He'll definitely be starting week 1. Although I hate starting Thursday guys. It just always rubs me in a weird way. But it's fantasy football, and I'm just excited for it to get going.
As we say, though, you always got to take those Thursday guys out of your flex. It's week 1. We're going to remind you right now just to never have any of those Thursday guys in the flex. Don't ruin your lineup for the week. And just do what you got to do. But when we're talking, like you said, too, the over under 54, I could genuinely see this game being like 34-31 because I just don't trust the secondaries against how good the quarterbacks actually are.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think hitting the over on this one at 54 is that's easy money because at the end of the day, I mean, Steve Spagnuolo is a great defensive coordinator, and this defense is going to find their way. But if we use last year kind of as an example, first 5 weeks, I think the Kansas City Chiefs are already 2-3, and people are like, "Oh, what's going on with them?" And then they did what they normally do. Yeah. They found defensive ways to beat the Chargers with the pick six, things like that. So I don't think you can sleep on
creative,
them.
Man. That's the Andy Reid thing, like you're talking about. It's like, can Dan Campbell beat Andy Reid's whole team? Everything down to. Special teams, Kansas City, I think that, they are, like you mentioned at the beginning of the show, that it's basically like everybody wants their team to win the Super Bowl right now. But there is no team that wants no fan base that wants their team to win the Super Bowl more right now than Kansas City.
Because it'll be a dynasty.
Coming off it. Yeah,
it'll be a dynasty. It'll be the official dynasty. One more player I just want to highlight here before we get off. Justin Ross, second-year player out of Clemson. Yeah. Made the 53-man roster. Just
keep an eye.
Just a name to keep in mind. He was electric for Clemson a few years ago. So
dealt with a lot of injuries coming out of Clemson too, and went undrafted. He was supposed to go first round, stayed in school.
So
I like that.
Just
Listen to Sean on this one,
just
kids.
keep that in mind, Kansas City fans. But that's all the time that we have today. Thank you, everyone, for listening. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. Stay tuned. We got a lot more games coming at you this weekend. It's week 1. It's kickoff season. It's great.
And we're hyped to be back. Thank you guys for checking us out. Just Saying Football on YouTube and Spotify. Just Saying No GWJS on Instagram for all our content. Stay up to date this season. We got a lot of stuff, like Sean said, coming at you. Thank you for watching our Kickoff show.